تهیه و تنظیم در استودیو بیزرایز.
Can use behavioral economics to their advantage. And this is yet another great example of how one simple book can make you rich. Now let's go from $1 million a month to $10 million a month and further. And this is where things get very, very interesting. Here's where things begin to really shift. To get to $1 million a month and above, you need to analyze the world around you and you need to understand how things work. But in order to get to $10 million a month onwards, you need to start analyzing history in order to understand the future. And it's at this level you need to get into the most esoteric books. Books that I've been talking about for years on my YouTube. Books like The Creature of Jekyll Island. This book unveils the secrets of the money magicians of the Federal Reserve. Because it's only once you begin to understand how money actually works that you can start to really get wealthy. And I know that when I read this book, it completely opened my eyes to the real world. A world which most people are blind to. But once you understand the Federal Reserve, you also need to understand how the banking system works. And once you understand the Fed and the banking system, you can truly begin to realize your ultimate potential. And that's why these books are so important in making you rich. And that's why the next book I want to talk about, which is The House of Morgan, it's actually a biography of the entire Morgan family and how they created the modern day banking system. I have said this time and time again, but history is doomed to repeat itself. And the only way to truly be able to understand the future is by studying the past. And once you have a firm grasp on the past, you can even begin to start predicting the future. You see, history repeats itself. And you can actually use that to your advantage. Go ahead and think about all the different bubbles in history. Everything from the gold rush in the 1850s to the rise of Bitcoin. I mean, what if you'd bought Bitcoin in 2010? Well, if these cycles of boom and bust have happened all throughout history, well then they're bound to happen again. The key is that you need to be able to spot the trend before everyone else. And that is exactly what Devil Take the Hindmost teaches you. This book will walk you through the major cycles of boom and bust in recent history. And that means that after reading this, you're going to be able to identify these trends. And that, my friend, is how you can multiply your wealth tenfold. Equally, it's also how you can protect your wealth. So that's why it's so important to understand the past in order to understand or even predict the future. You see, in some sense, getting rich is all about doing the right thing in the right order at the right time. I mean, just think about it. You could have had the best idea for a tech startup after the dot-com bubble, but you would have never gotten funding, and vice versa. So that's why it's important to be able to spot the trends as they emerge. So ladies and gentlemen, those are the 17 books that will help you make your first $10,000 a month all the way up to your first $10 million a month. Those are the best books I have used in that time period. If you want to make more than $10 million a month, I can't help you with that because I've never done that. But these books, read at the right time in that order, have helped me the most. And I can tell you the books that I read to start making more than $1 million a month, I still read some of those books when I was dead broke. It was interesting, but I don't feel like it helped me at the right time. And that's why I think it's so important that you read these books. I mean, you can read them for entertainment, even if they don't apply to your current situation. But just understand, when you read these books at the right time, when you're facing the problems that these books will teach you about, that's when it's the most powerful. A lot of these books I reread when it applied more to me and my life situation at that period of time. And it was always so mind-blowing because I would read the book and I'm like, but I've read this before, but why is it that this time I find it so incredible? Like, why has this been so powerful this time? And of course it was because it directly reflected what I was going through at that point in my wealth creation phase. So ladies and gentlemen, I really hope you enjoyed this video. I stayed up very, very late compiling all of these books and just going through all of my physical books, all of my Kindle books, everything to really bring you this specific list. So I hope it was of value to you. And as always, I'll be watching you from afar and I'm rooting for you.
تهیه و تنظیم در استودیو بیزرایز.